Basing it off good sources, kind of is the whole basis for making your paper a good source in turn for other people.
Just credibility, especially if like research. If you want to say, you want to make a point, and you want someone to actually believe you, like in my case, like when you're working with outside businesses, you have to have something like a credible source to back you up what you're saying, and that credibility is key if you want someone to believe you and actually take you seriously.
It's made me care more about learning because I've realized that there is so much out there, like when you think about a database, but they start to connect. And if you read a paper and then you look through the bibliography and then you go to this next paper and then you go to this next paper and you realize all these people are citing each other, you start to feel smarter once you get that. And once a professor says, so Worth said this, and you're like, I get that, I know where that comes from, and I know who he cited.
I think in this age of clickbait, it's easy to just see an article or someone post an article to your Facebook and be like, oh man, check this out, I can't believe this happened. And you want to just fall into the belief of that it's real and everything in the article is accurate. But after doing so much research and really like learning proper citation and all that kind of stuff, it makes me really stop and analyze the source before I fall into it and get wrapped up in it.
I think it's important, like information overload speaking, of making sure what information, kind of filtering information, because we get shot a lot of information daily, even in our just one class. It's a lot of information to take in.
I think it's made me more sensitive to the importance of gathering a breadth of resources, because when you're doing your research projects, you can't just find one source and call it a day. So I think that kind of applies to life outside of research as well, is that you realize that on one topic, even really specific topics, there's going to be a lot of different ideas on that topic, and it's important to gather more than just the one that you find immediately palatable or the easiest one to find. Yeah.
And you start finding patterns. So as you research more and more, you realize that there are different information, different stances in regarding the information, but you start finding patterns. You start finding like there's this group over here, and then there's this group, and then there's also a third group. So anything that, as you learn more and more, these groups get bigger. At least for me, that's the way I see it. And then you find these outliers, and you're just like, well, you can start seeing where the credibility lies, and then you start finding patterns, I guess.